Yeah. Already finished?
Okay, you are live on YouTube.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll call to order the meeting of the Tourist Advisory Board today, October the 14th. We just roll call of the members. I see Bob Glassman, Jim Nemeth, Kathy Keene, Stephanie, Jeff Andrews, and Mary Levin. So that's 6, which gives us a quorum to proceed with business. Is there anybody else, or maybe here on phone or something that we can't see? Oh, somebody just popped up.
Hello, Ron Browning.
Okay,
Ron.
so we're just doing roll call, Ron. So now we have Ron
Okay.
Browning as well. And he's phoning in, so we won't see him. So, okay, hopefully everybody had a chance to look at the meetings, the minutes from the last meeting,
Those were already approved, Jim.
and they were approved?
Yeah, we
Okay.
did that prior,
Okay.
since it's been a while, so we don't need to do that.
So Christy won't be here today, and she sent me an email hoping that somebody would step in as secretary for today, take notes and pass them on to Christy, who'll turn them into the minutes. Would anybody want to volunteer for that?
I had suggested her watching YouTube live and taking minutes. She's okay with that.
Oh,
Okay with it.
she did?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're okay with that, and she said she would do that.
yeah, okay. Well, she could have just been one of the folks here then. Okay.
Well, no, she's gonna watch it live.
Oh, later on,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Well, the chairperson, on to the next item, the chairperson's report. Well,
What's the date? The 24th?
October 24th, yeah, sorry.
I'm not Bill Watson, so I really don't have a chairperson's report at this time. Bill is away, and so I really will leave that as nothing said. So next we'll go on to the Havre de Grace Tourism Office report, Bonnie and Lori.
Hi, Bonnie.
Hi.
It's good to see Bonnie. So you got the agenda, so I'll just go down real quick and summarize this stuff. The City Shuttle, if you guys have not heard, it is official. Adam worked very hard to get a bill passed, and it has been passed, and it will be coming. It's a 12-person shuttle. The city's going to purchase 2. While one's charging, the other one will be running. The schedule hasn't exactly been worked out, but the thought is it will mainly run on weekends and when we have events going on in town. But we'll see how that goes, and we can adjust it as needed. The thought is to hire part-time people to run the shuttle. I'm thinking probably spring, that will all start up. It's just a matter of when the vehicles get purchased. So that's exciting news for
That's awesome.
sure.
Great.
Yeah, and Jeff, I'm sure it's great for your boaters too. So
I don't know what I did.
come around.
Just one question about that. Is there any special licensing requirement for the people that operate that?
I do not know that. Adam, I know you're still on here. Do you have any idea on that one? And maybe he's not. So
Looks like he's on the phone.
yeah, he looks like he's on the phone. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know. So
Okay.
What's it gonna look like? Do you have a picture of it?
I don't have a picture of it. It's a 12-person. It's open, just like our little cars we have now.
Uh-huh.
So it'll probably just, the loop hasn't been set up, but most likely, go downtown, down to the lock house, but down to the lighthouse. So it'll all get tweaked as needed. But it's a great way to get people around.
Yeah.
And that's a definite now. It's no, maybe we're
Great.
working on it. It's a definite. So that's definitely coming. Halloween, we are doing the trick-or-treating through the businesses. I have actually another person signed up this morning. So I have 26 businesses signed up. So that's exciting. There'll be signs in the windows that say trick-or-treat here, and I'll actually give them out probably a week prior. So it'll say trick-or-treat here on October 30th from 4 to 7, so people know to come back. I had a merchant meeting last night, and they talked about how many people they expected, And most of them are planning on 1,000. They're planning on for 1,000 kids. Jim's like, what? The reason he's saying that is because typically we have the Halloween parade, and Parks and Rec gives them all a goodie bag, and there's a judging up on the stage, and then they give them prize money. Because we can't congregate in one area, we've tweaked that, and Parks and Rec is still willing, thank you, Jim, to participate. So what it'll be is the costumes will come to the visitor center out front and be judged anytime between 4 and 7. They'll register, and then Parks and Rec will actually send their prize money to them in the mail. So there isn't everybody congregating at one time. Bonnie will be back in town, yay! So her and I will walk around town and encourage people to come up here to get judged. So it should be a lot of fun. Mary, I don't know if Maritime Museum is interested. I know the Lighthouse is participating as well as Bomb Boys, Spencer Silver, and
Yeah, I don't think we,
no, okay, that's fine. Just so you know that there will be people down that end of town as well. So I think that's going to work out well. I think a lot of people may do this in place of door-to-door trick-or-treating. Although that's the big question too, will there be door-to-door trick-or-treating? The city will not cancel that. That's up to the individual houses. If you want to participate, you turn on your house light. If you don't, you turn it off. So it's totally up to the individual if they want to participate or not. But that will be happening, and Bonnie has a post going out, I believe, today on the COVID guidelines on trick-or-treating and saying that the city is having trick-or-treating if you want to participate. So I think there was some confusion as, is the city canceling door-to-door and having business instead? No, that both are happening. October 30th is the business, October 31st is door-to-door. So if anybody asked you, spread the word, that's the deal. Holly Jolly Fresh Fridays is happening. We are not having a parade. The mayor feels that might be too many people on sidewalks. Instead, it is going to be set up like a First Fridays with a holiday theme. So we're going to close the streets just like we do for First Fridays. We're going to have vendors. We're going to encourage extended storefronts. If the restaurants want to do any kind of cafe seating or maybe just outside bar area, we're going to have roaming entertainment. I'll hire the stilt walkers again, carolers. Franklin Street, where we'd like to have the kids zone on there. And I'm saying all this is, it's definitely happening as far as what's happening. I have a Zoom meeting planned for Friday morning at 10 a.m. I'm going to send out the link. Jeff is setting it up for me, Jeff Thompson. So anyone that wants to participate in the planning of it, please let me know. Okay, I'll send you the link. And of course, more people will have more ideas, and the mayor just wants it to be
Laurie, what's the date of that?
the first Friday in December.
What is the date?
The 4th, I believe. It's the first, whatever that first Friday is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Number 4th.
Yeah, and it'll be from
4th.
The 4th, yes. It'll be from 4 to 8 on that Friday. Again, I want to have as much entertainment as we can and spread out, which will spread the crowds out and not keep people congregating in one area. The only part that could become a crowd congregating is, and I don't know if any of you have heard, the city has purchased a 24-foot tall Christmas tree. Rather than beside the Masonic Lodge where our typical city tree is, and every year it's a little different, it's a live tree. This will be an artificial tree, but 24-foot tall, and we'll go beside the Masonic Lodge. And the mayor does want to have a tree lighting there. So Santa will come in on a sled, but not as a parade. He'll just come in and go right to the tree with the mayor. There will be a stage at the tree. So we're thinking the tree lighting will be at 6 o'clock. And so we'll have entertainment on that stage before and after, but that'll only be one place where there's entertainment. Again, we want to spread it out as much as we can to keep the crowd spread out. But there will be an official tree lighting on that night. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. Fall Art Walk is happening. And this is the, That's the flyer for the
Uh-huh.
Fall Art Walk. That actually started last year because we don't have a Fresh Fridays in November. So they started doing this instead and having them 4 times a year. This one, and this is directly from the arts group that is organizing this. It says, visit downtown Havre de Grace Art Walk. Participating businesses will feature artists demonstrating their skills. Make a purchase and receive 10% discount on select downtown restaurants. So I don't, Stephanie, I don't know if you know more about that as far as, are they offering discounts to the restaurants if you do the art walk, or?
We did last year, and we also got a caricature artist. Heard anything this year yet, though? This is the first I've heard that they're doing it.
Okay, well, I know.
I mean, I'll always give a discount. I just didn't know about it. Yeah.
Yeah, they talked about it at the merchant meeting, so maybe they just haven't got, I mean, it's not until November, so I'm sure they'll get a hold of the businesses.
Yeah.
But I think
Yeah.
that's the idea.
And
They
that's
have one in the summer, and then they have one in, I don't know, it's 4 times a year, but it is happening. And I don't know. Do you have the date on that, Bonnie? I know you just updated the calendar.
I just put it on our calendar. Give me one sec.
And they have done these in the past, and this works a little better for them. They changed the time, I believe. I think it's earlier, like maybe 2 to 6 or something like that.
November 14th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
There you go. I think they felt that people came earlier, and then the idea was, I think during the art walk, then they get some kind of, if they participate, they get some kind of discount and then can go to a restaurant. So it's to encourage dinner after.
10%, yeah.
Any questions on that one? Okay, and then onto the Destination Guide 2021. So basically, we have decided to not do a 2021 Destination Guide, mainly because this year's, obviously, the dates were a mess, and we honestly don't know what's going to happen next year and when things are going to happen. So instead, we're going to do rack cards. We're going to follow the same same way it's worded, like eat, what is it? Eat, stay, play, and there'll be a rack card for each. So we'll update the rack cards as needed. It'll be easier to update throughout the year, and then we'll just keep our Explore calendar up to date with events, and probably put that at the bottom of each rack card. I'm going to be working with Bill to organize how to do that. We will want to keep the same look as the Destination Guide. So if we decide to go back to it in 2022, it'll be an easy transition. We may find we like this better because we do have quite a few new businesses in town as well as new restaurants. So it's easy to update them. We can order smaller quantities and just keep refreshing it. We have a ton of guides left for this year. And we have the big sheet maps, which I think a lot of the businesses like using that better anyway than the inside of the guide. So again, I'll get your feedback on that once it's rolling, and then we'll go with decide what we're going to do in 2022. New businesses.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry to interrupt, but are we going to do the same advertising opportunities? Local businesses will, I forget what we did with that before. I know we always list in there somehow. Yeah,
we did offer some advertising opportunities in the guide. I don't think we'll do that with the rack cards. Again, I'm still working all that out with Bill. But I think it'll just be the rack cards this year without the whole booklet with advertising and everything.
So but the rack cards are going to have a listing on it?
Yes, there'll be a different rack card. I think you are under play, I assume.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, play.
And you might be under, I think, Celebrate too with the regatta room. So it might work out well because when people come in here, they come in for museums, or they come in to shop, or they come in to eat. So as volunteers here, we can kind of specify which, rack cards or whatever.
Well, I think in the face of the
we're trying it. We may decide.
That's a good idea.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
In the face of a changing calendar, that's a good idea. I mean, nothing's going to be set in stone for a while, probably. So
Yeah, and we get a lot of calls here with stuff that's on that calendar. And like this past week, Oktoberfest, how many calls do we get saying, is it happening? We sent them all to Hopkins Brewery for their Oktoberfest, and from what I understand, it was quite a crowd there. So
It was.
did you go?
I did not go. No, that's a super spreader place. I just see all the cars coming and going, and that place is piled high with cars. They're converting 2 soybean fields to parking lots because they're making more money off of beer than the soybeans, I've heard.
I believe it. I mean, that parking lot is always packed, and apparently they're going to put up some outdoor tents with heaters and everything else. So we got to get them down here after come here for dinner and then go there or something. Okay, so new businesses. There are 2 coming in that are new that are going to be opening. One is the Battery Island Brewing Company, which is formerly Wood Duck Brewery. It is going in the location where Chris's barbershop is. So Chris's barbershop had a big area and then a little area beside it. Chris has moved to the little area, and that bigger shop is going to be the brewery. They're kind of renovating it. They're making a big open space area. As far as food, they are not serving food. They're going to rely on food trucks and local restaurants to cater. So I'm assuming this is how they're going to do it, but maybe they'll have a McGregor's night, and McGregor's will cater that night for, whatever. Just like Independent Brew has different food trucks, I think they're going to try to incorporate the restaurants. I don't know, Stephanie, has anyone gotten in touch with you on that yet? Or
No, and I really just recently heard that they were opening. Is there a contact for anyone over there?
I can find out get one for you. I'm sure Erica has
that
one.
would be great.
Yeah, it's 3 gentlemen that are doing it. Let's see. The primary partner is Kevin Wilson. I don't know if you know Kevin. I don't either, but I can get you a contact for him. I think the idea is to have it inside, and then they're working with Brian Bangs to use the side yard for outdoor music space and tables. I'm assuming that means like beside the smaller, maybe there's a back entrance or something.
There's a back entrance, and then there's a yard on Congress Avenue, actually.
Okay, so that's kind of what they're looking to do, and I don't believe it's supposed to open until like February.
That's what I.
Yeah, but the contract is signed. They're definitely coming.
They have a website already where they're showing progress. Like Stephanie, I just found out about it the other day, and they've already got a website established, Facebook page, and their website actually shows hours that they're open hours on the weekends, which I'm pretty sure they aren't since they're ripping floors out the other day.
Yeah.
Is this a new operation, or they've been brewing before at some other location?
Well, it's the former Wood Duck Brewery is what their name used to be. So I can tell you what Erica said. She said it's 3 investors, microbrew with numerous specialty brews. So it's 3 different guys investing in it, the primary one being Kevin.
Right.
Kevin Wilson. And
Yeah,
then
What's the name of it? What's the new name of it, Lori?
Battery Island Brewing Company. So, and then the other one is the former Price's Seafood, which is now going to be called Water Street Seafood. That contract has also, that lease has also been signed. I know on Facebook, she's been saying mid-November. I talked to Erica about it. She said that's very wishful thinking. She thinks it's going to take a little longer than that, but hopefully before the holidays. And their main food is going to be steamed crabs, which we don't have. So that's great. And Stephanie, you've had it a couple times. Was it successful when you had the steamed crabs there?
Yeah, crabs are a hard one though. I guess if you do it, solely just with crabs, it would probably be a great idea. We toured that building not that long ago, looking to purchase it, and there's a lot that needs to be done. So I would think that November is definitely very, very wishful thinking. Yeah.
But the lease is signed, the permits have been applied, so it is moving forward. Again, steamed crabs, heavy seafood, and Erica says most likely they'll bring in some of their, they own Blazing Rays on Route 40 that was up by Brewster's, as well as Sweet Devotions, and then I think it turned to the Lunchbox. Teresa and Dilward Ray. So they're gonna the new owners of that restaurant. So it's really cool, all this stuff opening here during this whole pandemic. I mean, you'd think
Yeah.
we'd be shutting down, but we seem to be keep opening stuff, which is wonderful. The Oyster Feast is happening. That's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. I believe it's November 14th, if I'm correct. That's the one where the nonprofits sell the tickets, and for every ticket they sell, they get $15. The tickets are not being sold individually. They're only being sold by table. So you can purchase a table of 4, 5, or 6. And that's for COVID reasons, so that we can group them and they'll stay with their groups. We're hoping, the mayor really wanted to let this happen because so many things are being canceled. So we're hoping it's a success. The tickets are online for sale, as well as we're going to have them here at the visitor center for sale. There's no fee if you buy them here. So if any of the nonprofits, if you hear from anybody that wants to be part of that, all the nonprofits are listed online. If they're not listed, just give me a call and we'll get them listed. I think that's about all I have, unless anybody has any questions.
Hey, Lori, for the nonprofit, do you know if the Seroptimists are on it?
I'm not sure. Do you recall, Bonnie, if they're on it? You're muted.
The master list that we made?
Is the
Yeah.
Seroptimists, did they respond?
Seroptimists?
I don't think they are. I don't think they responded. They definitely got the email, but I don't think they responded.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything from them, but didn't that go to Beth?
I believe so.
Okay.
Beth is the contact for that.
Okay, they're coming in to meet with me shortly, so I'll talk to them. It just makes sense.
I mean, you can't lose.
Just
No.
double checking that date. You said it's the Saturday before Thanksgiving. That's the 21st.
Okay, then that's it, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I think that's all for me. Unless anybody has any other questions.
And the
I
Harris Mac,
did put that on there. I put that down, just people have asked. Ellie has decided not to publish any more Haverty Grace magazines. I think it's partly due to the virus and partly due to the expense. So I'm not sure if it will be coming back or not, but it's definitely not happening now.
Okay, then. So we'll move on to the sector reports. The first one is restaurants for Stephanie.
Hey guys, so it's nice to see everyone. It's been a really long time. It's been a very long winter for all the restaurants. A lot of good things are happening. We're all getting by, and that's great. Everyone that I talked to so far, I mean, we're doing it. It is a very challenging time that we're getting ready to face right now. So just kind of keep that in mind. If you think of anything that we should be doing, that we shouldn't be doing, we're all open to any ideas right now. One good thing, Harford County did come out with a new grant, which is wonderful. Couldn't come at a better time, right when your property taxes are due. So that really has come in handy for a lot of us. The idea of the shuttle is absolutely amazing, completely exciting. That brings a whole new different amount of people to us, the people that were down at in different areas. So I'm pretty excited to see that. Activities starting are absolutely great. They're going to mean a lot to us, especially after us to get a little bit colder. I am hoping to see that maybe we can figure out something else that maybe we can do during the winter months to still kind of keep that traffic generated through town. I know it's tough, weather, but it would be really nice, especially because this winter is going to be a cold one and hard for the restaurants. But like I said, we're all still here and we're all getting by, and so that can't be any better than that right now, right?
Stephanie, have you heard anything about the restaurants as far as outdoor seating? Are they going to stop that, or are they going to add heaters, or have you heard any talk from those who do have that?
So right now, that's one of the main topics with everyone. it's really hard. The fire marshal is very specific about what type of heaters you can use. Right now, I don't know that any of us are using the proper heaters, aside from the ones that I have installed up top. You can't use the propane ones. My hope is that they'll be a little bit less stringent with these rules. I'm not saying let's have fire pits everywhere. I know that's unsafe, but maybe these stand-up propane heaters and things like that, provided that we do have open sides. So I'm hoping that, they'll follow suit. I know Baltimore County kind of released a little bit of their regulations, so we'll see.
Okay, thanks.
Stephanie, you mentioned the Harford County grants. Is that just for restaurants or for other businesses as well? Would you know?
Right, for
You're frozen.
yes. I find that sometimes when they do these grants, they'll release it to somewhere.
Stephanie, you're frozen, but I do believe it is just the restaurants. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, it is. It is right now, restaurants, right? But sometimes they, like I said, they'll later on might open it to small business, independent business. It just depends how many people act on it. I mean, it was a big talk because, like I said, our property taxes were all due. So it was nice to see, very nice to see. That's all I really have. That's it.
The county did 2 rounds of small business grants previously, I guess. It's been a couple months ago. And in fact, Julie Runkert stopped by and said, hey, you've got some small businesses in here and the county still has money left in their program. So I went to 3 of our tenants that are all marine related businesses and said, here, go apply for this right now. All 3 of them applied. All 3 of them got it on the second round.
Wow.
It was way after the fact. So the money was still out there. So yes, I owe Julia a debt of gratitude for sure for helping us with that.
Okay, then, anything more for restaurants? If not, we'll go. Well, retail was Christy. She's not here. Does anybody have anything they might want to bring up about local retail? We talked about some of the new businesses coming to town, but
Brook Bend is coming. I don't know if you guys have heard that. It was going to come at Glyph, the old Glyph building, but now it is going in right across from River City Public House, the old Larapin, where the daycare was going to go. That is going to be Brook Bend, which is, I believe, like restored furniture, home decor, and his plan is to open on October 30th.
It's a great store. I've seen it in other towns, and I love it. It's really nice. They do a great job. It'll fit perfectly
This is
within
his
town.
3rd location, is that correct?
yeah, he has
Yeah,
one.
it looks like they're opening one in Northeast.
He has one in Elkton and one in Northeast, right?
I went to one in Elkton, the original one, and it was awesome. I probably got lost in there for about an hour and a half. Yeah.
That's good. That'll be a good addition.
Yeah, that's better than the daycare.
Yeah.
Okay, then museums, Mary?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, because I keep getting this notice. I keep getting a notice that says my internet is unstable. So, so the Happy Grace Maritime Museum, we're now under our fall and winter hours, which puts us open only on the weekends, Saturday 10 to 5 and Sunday 1 to 5. We do have planned on October 24th, which is a Saturday, our second annual Mad Scientist experiment. So we have 4 different afternoon sessions. We're keeping it limited to 10 kids per session, and we'll explore, excuse me, making light sensitive slime, brew witches potions, exploding ghosts, and all kinds of cool stuff. So if you know anyone that's interested, just have them contact us. Excuse me, 1 minute. Okay, the lighthouse. I don't have COVID, I promise. October 31st from 1 to 5, they'll have their Halloween costume pet parade, vendors with pet-related items, a milk bone treat raffle. That is 1 to 5 on Halloween on the 31st. And as of that date, they will also be closed for the season. The Lockhouse Museum, they just wanted me to mention that their candlelight tour and boutique are December 12th and 13th. And that museum will also be closing at the end of this month for the season. And that's all I have, unless you have any questions.
I believe isn't Decoy doing carving candy too?
No.
Yes. They are, yes. Carving candy. It's also a register online. Mary, we do have your event on our calendar as well. And the lighthouse, it's on our calendar. And we've been sharing it. They're scheduled to share on Facebook if they haven't shared already. Did you catch that?
Okay, Public Art and Arts Commission, that would be Bill. He's not here. Would anybody have anything they wanted to pipe in on that? Okay. Outdoor Recreation, Jeff?
Okay, as I've been saying all summer, that in some respects, it's like someone canceled summer. Our transient activity was off a lot most of the summer, where we're typically having groups come in every weekend, every other weekend, things like that. We didn't really see much of that this summer. It has started to pick up later in the summer, but despite that, our rentals, our space rentals, long-term are up. The word in the boating industry is that boat sales are up. Boats are one of those things that you can do socially distant and by yourself. So that is up. I read somewhere in one of the national journals that boat registrations were up 32%, something really crazy like that. And we've seen it where boats are getting hauled out. We have customers selling boats. We have new customers coming in to buy boats. Some of them are total greenhorns that have never owned a boat before. That's a little interesting, but we're seeing people coming into the industry. And now, as we're getting ready for winter storage season, we're actually already, people are hauling boats out for the winter. October has been a busy tourist month for us. Last weekend, we had 3 groups of boats coming in. They came in. One group was from Bohemia Bay, mostly folks that live in Philadelphia, keep their boats over on the Bohemia River. Another group came in for 2 nights. They came in from Salem, New Jersey. So they came through the canal and came over. And then, I can't remember which the third group was. This weekend, so we ended up with 25 transients or strangers that aren't usually here last weekend. This weekend, we've got similar numbers. We've got 3 groups of boats coming in. One group is coming in, coming up from Baltimore for 2 nights. The Northeast River Yacht Club's bringing a group over for a night, and then we have a group of 4 guys, four boats that are just traveling together. So these are generally kind of the last hurrah for the season. They'll do one last cruise and go away, but they are coming to town, which has been surprising. So we'll have the same kind of numbers. We're looking at like 25 to 28 boats that aren't normally here will be here this weekend. And from what I'm seeing, I think other marinas are getting some activity like that. Maybe not the big groups this time of year, but it's been dribs and drabs, and we're all working now. It's getting towards the season to put things away and hope that next year it keeps going. But the COVID thing, really, we've got a lot of extra work to do, but we haven't had people fleeing, doing something else. There's been a few people who've done that, but actually people seem to be going to their boats so they can do something that is not going to be in a crowd. So that's it.
Okie doke. Tours, Kathy?
Hi, everybody. So I'm mainly going to be reporting on trails other than tours. I'd like to let you know that the mobile app of the Lafayette Trail has been completed. This was done in partnership with, it was actually done by the Havre de Grace Alliance in partnership with the Historic Preservation Commission. And we started working on it last, I think it was August or September, and pretty much got it done by May, June, around then. So right now the app is working really well. And as I told you before, we have a rack card. This is what it looks like at the visitor center. And this rack card explains how to download the district's app on your device and how to follow the trail. The trail has signs along the way. This is what they look like. There's 37 stops on the mobile app, and some of the stops cover more than one property, like this one, because some of our properties are real close together. So this one would cover stops 4, 5, and 6, which is what it would be in the Lafayette Trail brochure. And all the stop signs have beacons. So the way it's supposed to work is when you approach it, you have your app on, you approach it, one of the stops, and the beacon picks it up and will start talking. We'll show the picture of that stop. And then you can scroll through the pictures to see old pictures, and you'll hear some narration come on. Plus there'll be text that you can read. And we're working out the kinks with that. Some of the beacons weren't working very well, or there was a big delay before they would start. So we're kind of working out the kinks. Plus we have 7 poles. We had to have DPW install 7 new poles because we didn't have anywhere to put some of these signs and beacons. And so we're still awaiting the installation of those. But DPW has been great as far as installing all the signs that are now up. The ones that are all up, there was already a pole to put them on. So we're just waiting for the other ones. And that's going well. As far as guided tours of the Lafayette Trail, we've only done one. That was done by Ron, and that was just a couple. Usually the way that works is somebody will call the visitor center and Lori will refer them to me if they want a guided tour. And then I'll just set up a date whenever they want. We don't have any scheduled tours. And I work with them directly. And we have our guides are Ron, myself, Jim, and Kathleen Lee. But like I said, we have only had one this whole year. Another thing about the Lafayette Trail is we have bronze medallions to mark the trail. And I told the committee about that. And those, we sold 6 more. This is the brochure that talks about that. If people want to buy a medallion, 12-inch medallion, bronze medallion, it's installed in the sidewalk along the trail. And we sold 6. Most of those were actually, we didn't sell them. They were purchased by Historic Preservation Commission. We're using some of our escrow funds to buy these medallions because we really want to get the trail marked. But we did sell one. Steve Gamatoria bought one recently. We have to get 6 of them before the city will install them. So once we get 5 more, we'll be installing those. So I think we have something like 26 of these now on the trail. But the goal is to mark the trail with that. They're $450 each. And now the Historic Preservation Commission doesn't make any money off of it. We just take the order, talk to the people what they want printed on it, and buy them and install them. The other thing, we had the Havre Grace Green Team and the Baltimore Walking Club sponsored a tour that happened last Saturday. And it was mainly the Baltimore Walking Club, but some people of the members of the Havre Grace Green Team belonged to the Baltimore Walking Club. And I think they were instrumental in bringing them here. So that was their walk, was the Lafayette Trail. It also included the Joe K Trail. So that I got good feedback. I walked around and saw people and asked them, and a lot of them people had never been to Havre Grace before. So that was great. And the Joe K Trail, as most of you probably know, the city has really been doing a lot of improvements on that trail. I mean, if you haven't been down there, the whole path around the shad pond is all being redone. And the bridges, there's 2 bridges that go over the creeks now by the lock house. One's by the lock house and one's down further down. But anyway, that's great. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. Ron, lodging?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Well, only a couple of the lodges are open right now, bed and breakfast. The Van Diver has been fairly busy, but they still have been off of their usual businesses. Carol also at the Spencer Silver Mansion has been off. They've lost a lot of their business account people who usually would come into town. The main business that they've picked up now is out-of-towners who are going out for a weekend to get away from the house, so to speak. And so they've had people from Delaware, Pennsylvania, et cetera, who are coming into town just to be here for the weekend or sometimes for a day. And sometimes it has been families who will kind of rent the whole place and stay. I, at the La Clay Door, am not taking guests because of the COVID. It's too risky. Imagine trying to clean your whole house every time somebody comes in and goes and leaves. So it's not worth it to me to catch the illness. And Jane at Courier House, unfortunately, she had a major problem, so she was hospitalized, and she is now in Bel Air rehab, so they are not operating Courier House at this moment. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Ron. The last is Visit Hartford, and that would be Greg, but he's not on the call. Unless anybody has something to say about that, we'll move on. So the next topic is tourism ideas for winter during the pandemic and the spring and summer of next year. Obviously, we've got to think in a new way about ways to draw people into town, ways to keep the good vibe going. I think Havre Grace in one way is very fortunate in that a lot of people think we're kind of a safe haven because we're not big and crowded. Even when we think we're crowded, a lot of people don't think that's particularly crowded. So we do have that going for us, I think. I'll just bring up one idea that's kind of late, but somebody asked me to bring it up. I mentioned this last year before I was on this group. I've been to a couple towns that do like a scarecrow building contest, and they take, especially the towns with the nice streetscapes that have the nice lampposts in them, like I'm looking at the window at. And I'm not sure how they run them, but they build scarecrows and they put them all around town on the light posts, and it really gives the town a nice feel for fall. And it obviously is used also to get people into town to build scarecrows. So that would be, I don't know, I think it's probably a little late for this year, but something to think about in the future.
These are people that build them or businesses?
Well, businesses or people, I don't know exactly whether the business themselves is responsible for putting the scarecrow out, or if they get a group of, have some sort of contest or something to do it. I guess either way would work. It all depends on how vibrant and willing to get involved the business community is, and also if you need others to come in and help with that. So I think maybe Northeast did it this year. I've been up there to see, but I think, like I say, it really gives the town a fall feel in a way that doesn't cost a ton of money, and gives people a reason to walk around town and look at the scarecrows. You can turn it into some kind of a contest to vote for your favorite scarecrow or whatever.
Maybe they could do that for the Art Fest. Maybe that's something, the Art Walk. Maybe that's something the businesses could do as a promotion. So maybe it's not too late.
Yeah,
If each individual business maybe decorates for that particular evening.
But that would be before Thanksgiving, yeah. So.
Yeah, because that's, sorry to interrupt, but I was just thinking maybe your idea is not all lost because that would go along with the whole art idea.
Okay, well, I see a lot of heads shaking up and down,
Yeah,
so,
I like the idea. It's public art. It's people participating in art. So maybe
They could grab a pole.
maybe Bill Watson's group might be interested in getting involved in that somehow.
well, we can try.
Yeah, I actually have an Arts Collective meeting tomorrow night, so I will bring that up.
Yeah.
It could be very expressive.
Yes. Yeah.
Something exciting.
That would be fun, and I know the
Good
art room,
idea, Jim.
I know Jimmy at the
idea,
art room
Jim.
would surely make something very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
Or Sean Thornton.
or Sean, yeah, right. We've got the artists, that's for sure.
Right.
I think it's a great idea too, because I mean, when you think about when we did like the art festival and like the ice sculptures and how many people came in to see them. And if each person
Yeah.
did a different type of scarecrow, you know, people would come out. It's something to do. There hasn't been anything to do for so long. And it's something different and something fun.
Look
I
how
like-
many people went to go see that display on Tidewater for Halloween. And that was just one person. And it made it on the news.
One house, I didn't see it. I missed it. I was at work all weekend. Didn't see it.
Follow, explore, have it a grace.
Me too.
Okay, so the floor is open. If anybody has anything they want to talk about in terms of some ideas for the winter that maybe we could start the ball rolling on. Or even things.
I keep thinking about St. Patrick's Day. You know, St. Patrick's Day, the day before was when restaurants all got shut down completely. So I feel, and well, everything got shut down really. So I, you know, and the weather, I know, you know, it can be, it's a tough time, but it would be really neat if we could figure out some way to incorporate a St. Patrick's Day celebration within town again. I've been wanting to do that for years. And I think just after, you know, this whole shutdown, it's like a catalyst, like, let's do it.
What are you thinking? Like what?
I was thinking almost like a First Friday type event, kind of, where we shut down the streets, kind of a thing. Now, the St. Patrick's Day this year falls on a Wednesday, which is odd. So we would have to kind of dedicate, you know, 1 week before, after. I generally like to lean before, then after. But I just feel like, you know, something like that, and that could be something that we continue with. I mean, Baltimore does it. A lot of other places do it too. And I could even find out when they were planning to do theirs, you know, as well. I just feel like it's something that people are looking for things to do. That's one thing that I've learned from doing the festival. Everyone, when they're leaving, they thank me. They're just like, thank you for giving us somewhere to be and something to do. And it's just going to get worse as it gets colder. That there's not going to be anything to do. Right now, we're fortunate. There are some things, but as it gets cold, it's going to be next to nothing. So I'm thinking like a little shutdown, maybe.
I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
I mean, it could even be on a Saturday day. We could even do it on a Saturday day, or Friday night. It doesn't matter to me. I kind of backtrack on that because now I'm thinking more Saturday than Friday. And even having like a small parade through town, or even just having vendors and having a small festival. You know, nothing as big as First Friday. Of course, it's going to be cold.
Maybe that's something we could do on Franklin Street.
Oh yeah, that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
And shut down Franklin Street and then have some, you know, start, and we could build on it each year. But when you talk vendors, are you talking like merchandise vendors, food vendors? I mean, obviously music, but.
I guess it depends how big it is. You know, if we're just looking at Franklin Street, then maybe we could do it like, you know, where the restaurants could come out and, you know, have their own little space for, like, I know we tried to talk about this before even, and they could have like their own little beer garden type things. I mean, I just think it would be kind of neat. Unless we can find some other specialty vendors that go in there, you know, like they have that dancing group of like the Irish jiggers that come out, different things like that. Because I want it to be family friendly. I'm not saying it's all going to be like a huge alcohol event, but you know, you got to have a little bit in there. It is St. Patrick's Day.
So typically, well, I've heard of like crab soup cook-offs and chili cook-offs. What's something we could do in that way and have all the restaurants participate for St. Patrick's?
Corned beef.
You know what? That's a really good. Huh.
You could do corned beef.
I don't know. I'd have to think on that. Corned beef and cabbage. That's good.
Yeah.
Is that, or what is, isn't there like an Irish stew or something? I'm not Irish, so I'm trying here. Or,
I'm
Shepherd's
Polish.
pie.
Don't tell anybody. I'm Polish. Yeah, I think I kind of like the corned beef and cabbage because that's really standard. Even shepherd's pie. I don't know if someone said that already.
Shepherd's pie.
Okay, so, and maybe, I mean, I'm seeing this, like, we're talking sort of about doing something similar, but maybe bigger for Christmas. And now this for St. Patrick's Day. What about Mardi Gras? Could we maybe close the same streets, rather than the parade?
Are we gonna get a
I think that's a-
parade?
Well, that's the question. I mean, you don't necessarily have
Yeah.
to have a parade. In
Yeah.
this day and age, if things are still bad in,
Thanks.
I'm not sure when Mardi Gras is, probably February.
the end of February.
Yeah, so,
Maybe they could decorate windows for Mardi Gras, instead of making it a parade where they come and watch, they could just walk
right,
down and see decorations.
that'd be great. And you could do
Yeah.
that for St.
That's a
Patrick's
great-
Everybody buy
Day.
their decorations ahead of time.
Maybe you could do the same thing for St. Patrick's Day, and
Yeah,
then maybe
Add a
once you're
little
doing
purple.
some of this,
Absolutely. And
when you keep doing the same thing over and over, it gets easier to do.
Yeah.
I know you guys probably know that for First Friday, even though you don't probably think it's all that easy, but at least you aren't doing it from scratch every time. So, and you kind of have laid the groundwork at Christmas. So, something to think about.
Yeah.
We can definitely mention that on the Zoom meeting when we're talking about First Friday, the Holly Jolly. We can talk about just feeding right into St. Patrick's Day and doing something then.
yeah, I mean, even and now you got my head turned all over the place. But even for Christmas, if each place had really unique lights out front, I mean, anything to draw people kind of into town and driving through, so then they know for holidays, hey, we drive through Havre de Grace. On Christmas, they do something. On St. Patrick's Day, Mardi Gras, whatever it may be. And I really don't think it's that much to ask from businesses. It's really not a lot. I mean, my guys, it's like a team building kind of thing. It's fun, so it's good for everybody.
Well, I noticed that when I go to Northeast, I mean, we have our beautiful lighted trees, which are great, but we don't have like what Northeast has. Every business has lights around their windows and around their business, which I think really adds to the town. And I always go through Northeast and think, I think wish Havre de Grace would do this. I mean, I love our trees, but I think if more people would do, I'm just going off of your idea, Stephanie, the idea of lighting up individual businesses. I like that idea.
Is it their windows or their whole business?
It's some of it's just their window. It's all different. Doesn't, some of it's their whole building, the whole front of the building. But the buildings themselves are lit up as, they don't have the beautiful trees like we do, but I just think that would add to it. It would give it like depth. You know what I mean? You have the trees here, and then along the sidewalk, you have all kinds of different lights. Each business would have to be responsible for doing that.
Yeah. And I think, in doing these things, it creates traditions for family, and traditions create, returning people every year. And that's what, the
Yeah.
goal is ultimately.
Yeah.
And I don't mind putting something together for you, Laurie, and kind of like tying this together. I'm actually it's a quiet week for me, so I can kind of pull stuff together if you'd like to, and you can, tweak it and do whatever you'd like. I think it would be a great thing just moving forward.
I know they talked about how we've had the wreath contest a couple of years in a row. And then last year we changed it up and we did something different. What did we do? I'm trying to think. Oh, it was for the parade, which obviously we're not having. But I wonder, Kathy, if we could change it to a light thing. I don't know how to word that or how to, but rather than make it a window display, because not everybody has great windows. Like Joseph says, awesome windows to decorate, but then you look at across the street, the boutique has little tiny windows,
Right.
Maybe if it's just a storefront, the whole storefront decoration with lights or whatever, rather than just a window contest.
Yeah. I like that idea.
And encourage the lights.
Yeah, the lights on the buildings, not just inside the windows, like not just window display, but the lights like around the door frame, around the windows. But like you said, not everybody has great windows.
Right.
But
Yeah, I mean, we have crummy windows, so
Yeah.
I mean, I would me outside.
Well, Mamie's in Aberdeen, I mean, the way they do their storefront up, it's like amazing. I don't know if you've
It's
ever.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, anybody could do that to the front of their business.
Oh, I've never
yeah.
seen that one.
Oh,
That
definitely.
was
Get
neat.
Can't miss it.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, definitely. Good ideas. And we can talk about that when we talk about Holly Jolly as far as the whole contest goes for the businesses.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll try to put something together, and then that way you have something to kind of look at and you can clean it up, or
Perfect.
try to tame this idea. You know how I'm all over the place. So
Oh, you have lots of great ideas, Steph. I don't know if you all, I'm sure you did, followed her through this whole pandemic, and she was always, oh, we lost her. Always thinking outside of the box, always coming up with a new idea, which is what we had to do during all this time.
Right.
Stephanie definitely honed in on that.
Okay, well,
thank you. I tried. I tell you what, I was going stir crazy. I can't sit in this building. It was too dark and sad. So we had to find something.
okay, one other thing I was asked to bring up for one of the innkeepers was the value of having a bike rental place in town as to give visitors something to do. It's certainly a great town for bike riding. It's fairly flat until you get to the hill, but a great way to get around town and all. And it would be really helpful, at least to visitors coming into town, if they could rent bikes. A lot of people don't bring their bikes with them, but would love to take a bike ride. So I don't know. I know in the past we've had some bike rental shops that were mostly bicycle stores that also rented bikes. And I think she was thinking more along the lines of in the big cities. I know they have bike rentals where the bikes just sit on a rack and it's all digital. You rent it without anybody having to be around to do it. There don't have to be hours for the business. So if anybody knows anything about that or wants to get involved in figuring out how to bring something like that to town, I know one person that would probably help you with that. So so I just brought that up for that purpose. Does anybody else have any other thoughts for things new and unusual maybe we can do to bring people into town?
Now, I will say though that the museums have really been creative too, with all the Mary with your Maritime Museum come out with different ideas, and that definitely brings people into town too.
Okay, well, we'll get ready to adjourn then. The next meeting will be, I don't have a calendar in front of me, but lots of folks do. First person to say it wins a prize.
November 11th.
Yeah, I know it'd be Jeff. November 11th, which is unfortunately a holiday. So it's Veterans Day.
That's a
It's
Monday then, wasn't it? I don't know.
No, that one falls on the
Do it
day.
on that day? Okay.
Yeah, that's the Wednesday, the usual day.
So what do we normally do in a case like that?
Go the day before or the day after. Or
Or
the week before.
or after.
Well, we're all
Or
here.
you have a board meeting on Thursday, though. You have an HCN board meeting on the Thursday.
Okay.
And a chamber meeting on that Thursday also, Laurie. So you might want to hit the 10th. Sorry.
What if we switch to Wednesday the 4th?
That's that could be a tumultuous morning. That's the day after
day
the
after
election.
election day.
Yeah.
I only go
Oh,
one.
right.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
How about if we did November 18th?
Yeah. The fires will be put out by then.
All right, let's do that. There might be
Okay.
too much political talk.
November, yeah. Save us from all wringing our hands on the 4th. We'll go with November 18th if everybody's okay with that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Adam, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
So is this official notice to you, or do we need to let you know?
You can just send me an email and send me an agenda,
Okay.
and we can issue a public notice for that meeting.
How far in advance do you need that?
If you can send it to me a week before the meeting, that'd be great.
But do we have to say, because we'll miss that meeting originally scheduled, does that have to say that it's canceled or?
Now, your statutory requirements just say you have to meet 8 times a year. It doesn't say specifically when.
Okay.
Yep.
Do we know now if we're going to do a Zoom meeting?
The meetings will still be virtual at that time.
Okay.
That'll be after the election, so we won't have a virus anymore. Sorry, I had to say it.
It'll mysteriously go away one day. So,
Plan on Zoom.
okay, so anybody have anything else they'd like to say before we adjourn? Okay.